We're honored to introduce to the sports collectibles marketplace one of the finest collections of vintage signed sports cards ever assembled. This remarkable collection was meticulously cultivated by a single passionate visionary over many decades, with nearly every piece bearing a signature that matches the vintage of the card. At the core of this collection is a breathtaking run of signed cards spanning several years from the late 40s through the mid-50s, widely regarded as the golden age of post-war sports cards.
The most important thing about this collection is just the era. It's just such a critical era when it comes to collecting, and that period encompasses some of the most iconic cards ever produced.
It includes complete or near-complete signed sets from many of the most coveted baseball issues of the period, including 1948 through 1955 Bowman and 1952 through 1955 Topps runs.
This is definitely the most comprehensive signed card collection we've ever seen. You know, it's not only the scope of the collection, you know, the completeness of the sets within the collection, but just the fact that every card, you know, was signed in the period is just remarkable. Because a lot of the, you know, signed cards that we see, the autograph, you know, was added to the card much later than the issue of the card.
Also included are 1948 Bowman Basketball and seldom seen autographed football sets, such as 1948 through 1955 Bowman, 1948 Leaf, and 1950s Topps set.
The most beautiful George Mikan signed rookie card you've ever seen, again, signed in the period, vintage autograph.
Each set is a masterclass in curation. In addition to iconic stars and Hall of Famers, there are countless cards bearing period signatures that are incredibly tough to find, either due to the short lives of the players or the relative obscurity of their careers.
We've often heard that, you know, an athlete or say a baseball player say that, you know, they knew they made it when they saw their picture on a gum card. You know, like that's kind of part of the dream, you know, to actually have a baseball card. So, you know, I having these be vintage signed cards and that whole idea of the player being presented the card, you know, sometimes as a rookie, you know, in the case of the Mantles, you know, we got a 51 Bowman rookie, 51 Burke Ross, 52 Mantle, that are the most beautiful examples, you know, we've ever seen. You know, being presented that your rookie card as a rookie to sign, you can see in these cards the kind of the reverence that these players had by the way they signed the card.
For set collectors and autograph purists alike, this grouping represents an unfathomable opportunity. The collection's strength lies in its harmony of condition, completeness, and character, which is an homage to the pure intentions of its creator.
The first time I had an opportunity to view the collection, I was absolutely floored. You know, again, just by the depth of the collection, and of course, you know, some of the marquee cards, you know, the Mantles, the Clementes, the Jackie Robinsons, you know, they're among, if not the finest examples of each card respectively that we've seen. But, you know, the other kind of overriding thought and feeling that I had was just this kind of reassurance of the idea that that buried treasure still exists.
With impeccable provenance and a once-in-a-generation level of aesthetic quality, this collection is a celebration of the intersection of sport, history, and the spirit of collecting, offering pieces that transcend the hobby and enter the realm of legacy.
The sweat equity that had to go into this collection is just, it's beyond belief.